Hello, I am Hayden, and this is for Bio 182 Lab. And today we're going to be going over my experiment measuring the relationship between an animal's distance to a river and their chance of being attacked by a lion. Let me give you some background information. In the African Serengeti, the lion is one of the top predators and as such hunts prey in order to survive. Since it is near impossible to predict an actual lion attack, within the experiment, a calculated lion risk percentage will be assigned to each animal. This lion risk calculation will be used to interpret whether an animal is at a higher chance of being attacked by a lion. Some studies that helped us within this field of research were Kakao and Wolf. Within their lion research, they discovered that at least half of a lion's hunting will occur near a river to further support the idea that lion risk goes up as the river is approached. Research done by Brink, Smith, and Skinner found that every single pride they observed had their territory centered by a river or lake. So already there seems to be some strong backing and indication towards lion risk increasing as we get closer to a river. However, from previous studies, there's not been any research done on how important the distance from a river is on an animal's lion risk. Our objectives. With this information in mind, in this experiment, the following question was asked. Does the distance of an animal from the river have any effect on the animal's lion risk? In this experiment, we tested the hypothesis that the closer an animal gets to the river, the higher the chance a lion will attack the animal. We predicted that as an animal gets closer to a river, the animal's lion risk will increase. Our methods for collecting our data. The experiment began with setting up cameras throughout the Serengeti in order to capture the natural behavior of the wildlife. Then the distance from the nearest river was calculated from each camera. All photos were uploaded into a program called JMP, and the data was put into categories such as species, distance from river, and lion risk wet, and lion risk dry. The lion risk was calculated by JPM itself by gathering all the factors from the photo and giving an accurate estimate of the animal's risk of a lion attacking. The data of the distance to river and lion risk, both wet and dry, were put in the graphs and any trends were observed. We are looking at chart 1.1. Okay. So this chart you're now looking at demonstrates the distance to river in relation to the lion risk dry. And some trends we found within this data was, it demonstrates that the farther an animal gets away from the river, their chances of being attacked by a lion significantly go down. Chart 1.1 also demonstrates an optimal range where an animal has the highest chance of being attacked by a lion. For our second graph, chart 1.2, also demonstrates a very similar trend where the further an animal gets away from the nearest river, the lower their chance of being attacked by a lion. Chart 1.2 also demonstrates an optimal range where an animal is most likely to be attacked by a lion. Discussion. As expected, our results suggest that an animal's lion risk does generally increase as they get closer to a river. We expect this to occur due to prior research done by Kakao and Wolf, where they discovered that at least half of hunting done by lions is done right by a river. Also based on the research done by Brink, Smith, and Skinner about how the middle of the lion's territory is normally a body of water. The hypothesis that made most sense given this information is that there's a correlation between the distance to the river and the risk of a lion attack. So based on our hypothesis and the data given, we've concluded that our hypothesis was supported because a trend on both charts shows a correlation between how the closer an animal gets to the river, the higher their lion risk goes. Some possible confounding factors may be species, tree density, herd size, climate, the species within the herd, and physical health of the prey, just to name a few. The conclusion that this study has come to is that there is a positive relationship between lion risk and the distance to river. Potential impact of this study. The implications for this study may be useful in lion conservation, for zoos or other national parks that wish to protect the lion population. The people who are protecting these lions need to know that they need to place lions by a river or lake in order for them to be able to properly hunt and survive. Based on our study and the previous two studies referenced, Brink, Smith, Skinner, and Kakao and Wolf, a future question that could be asked to pertain to our study, does the size of a body of water determine a lion pride's survival rate? This would be a useful study for zoos and parks, as we'd be able to, if the lion were to ever come very dangerously close to extinction, and could be used to keep the lion alive. Thank you for listening